Hey guys, OneClue here. I hope all of you are doing well and having a really great day. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about solo mining, so let's get right into it. In the last video, I was doing a quick introduction into the ESP32 solo mining for Bitcoin. And that is quite interesting. If you haven't check out my last video about this. I also will link it down in the video description and also the parts that you need for this. But in today's video, I will talk about something different. And I will try to pull up a video right now to show you my current USB miners. A friend of mine sent me those over. And I tried to use them, or I am using them with a Raspberry Pi. The setup is a little bit messy, but this shouldn't matter. The matter of the fact is that I'm trying to solo mine with this. And for around a week now, I was trying to solo mine Bitcoin, and sure, in around a week, you could not expect anything from happening over there. But I was thinking about something different. So as you can see, we're currently at Mining Pool Stats. And this is a website that will display you basically every mineable coin that is out there. And I was first thinking about Bitcoin and mining this. I was thinking about solo mining this. I also used zolo.ckpool.org, this one down here. But if you find a block, they will get 2% out of it. And I mean, that's not too bad. You still get plenty of Bitcoin out of this if you actually find a block. But in the first place, you need to find a block. And then I was trying other pools, for example, via BTC, because they only have 1% of a fee. And then I got something different into my mind. I was thinking about the difficulty. As you can see, the difficulty of Bitcoin is quite high, currently at 49.5 terahash. This is quite high, especially for hardware that I currently use. Because those Bitfury USB miners, they were produced like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, probably even older, I'm not sure. And they only have around 2 to 3 gigahash that they're capable of. And so I am basically not really able to find a block in this particular difficulty. I also had a couple of issues with finding a pool that is even accepting my low shares, because if you have computing power or a computing device that is not able to produce enough hashes and values in a certain amount of time, you cannot really share any shares with the pool that is acceptable for them. So they don't really accept your shares, and you basically never find a share on this pool. There's a workaround. A couple of pools, they accept something like a share difficulty that you set up in the first place. But also I was not really quite sure if this is making anything for me. I was finding quite a couple of shares in the 100,000 marks, but I was not really finding anything. And sure, it was only 1 week that I was trying to solo mine something. But then, as I said, I was thinking about the difficulty, and that's the reason why I switched over to Bitcoin Cash. And now I'm trying to find a block with mining Bitcoin Cash. Sure, this is not as profitable as finding a block for Bitcoin, but it is more likely that you will find a block over there, especially with old hardware like this. They don't consume that much of power. They consume roughly 2 to 3 watts per USB device. And that's absolutely amazing, because they have plenty of power that they can put out for that low amount of wattage that they need. And that's the reason why I even started with them. A friend of mine told me, hey, yeah, I have a couple of them laying around, and I was interested, so I sent him over a couple of bucks, and then he sent them to me, and that's the reason why I put them up. And sure, maybe it could be that I will never find a block, but it's all a gamble, and that's what all this is about. I don't really care about it because I didn't pay that much. I've seen the new USB miners, these Gecko compact F miners, I believe that's what they're called, but they're quite expensive. And let me quickly log into a device that I'm using. Let's see, here we go. That's the Raspberry Pi that you have seen in the video in the beginning. And as you can see, it is using CG miner. The Raspberry Pi is basically communicating with those USB miners over the USB port. And I just hooked up a fan next to them so that they stay cool. And they currently hash around 2.5 to 2.6 gigahash per USB miner. And there's quite a funny part about them. And I will show you this in a second. You can literally overclock them with a pencil. And maybe some of you guys have been mining back in the days, but I was not mining with such a device. I had the jalapeno miner or whatever this one was called. It was a chunky one, and yeah, back in the days I was mining with this and not with USB miners. I never got into USB miners until now because a friend of mine sent me those over. And I even was thinking about getting some of those USB Gecko Science Compact F miners, but they cost around 250 bucks each, and that's quite expensive. And sure, it's a gamble, and if you would find a block, you would make all the money back. Sure, I get it, but in the end, I don't want to spend that much money for something that I just will use for the gamble. And that's also the reason why I use the ESP32 miner for hooking up and mining Bitcoin as a gamble, because this device literally pulls no power, 1 or 2 watts, that's it. There's always the potential that you could find a block. When it comes to the ESP miners, there is the virtual probability that you will find a block, and this one is basically 0 because it's literally impossible. But there's always a chance, technically. But with the USB miners that I got over there, and they're hashing right away, and they're doing good. They're doing good. The server is accepting all my shares, and as you can see, the best share is something around 343k. So it's not that bad. It's all right. And there is the potential that I will find a Bitcoin Cash block. And if I do so, I get, what is it? 600 bucks, 600, 700 bucks, something in between this, as of recording this video. That's fine. I mean, if I would find a block, I would be happy, and I will still then keep them up and mining, because there's always the potential that you will find another block. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, just for the fun. So for conclusion of this video, I will show you how easy it is with those devices to overclock them a little bit. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Now I got one of those USB miners out of it. Let me quickly zoom in. Let's see, sorry for the mess on my desk here. But on this device, there are a couple of resistors, and one of those resistors is the one that we are interested in. And what I noticed is that you need a pencil that is really soft, and then there's one resistor, it's called R15. And I hope the microphone quality is alright, because I'm now sitting somewhere else, and it could be that I'm a little bit far off the actual microphone. But nevertheless, let me see if I can pull this up a little bit better. There we go. So there is the R15 resistor that we have over there. And if we use a little bit of our pencil and rub it against it to create a bridge, then this will change the resistance of this piece, and this is basically overclocking the chip, because now it can use a little bit more power. And that's basically what you do. You just rub a little bit against it on the downside, and you try to create a little bit of a layer so that this one is actually getting a little bit of the pencil. This should be fine now. And let me quickly pause this video here and get back on the computer to see if we have increased a little bit of our hash rate on this device. And here we are actually back on our computer. And the second one is the one that I just used the pencil on. And I am currently at, hovering between 2 and 3 gigahashes. Let's see if this will even out a little bit, because we were getting 2.5 before that, and now it is bouncing between 2.5, 2.6, 2.8. So it seems like it is a little bit overclocking the device, and that's something that I absolutely love about this. You can literally use a pencil and the ingredients in the pencil are allowing to create this bridge next to the resistor, and therefore you can actually use this to increase the hash rate with this device. But nevertheless, I hope you liked the video and enjoyed it. If you do so, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on further videos. And comment down below if you liked it, and see you on the next one.